Today, we're going to be talking about our experience in undergrad. We're going to do an undergrad reflection.
All right, let's lock it a little bit. You, Simone, cannot walk in a straight line.
Oh, no.
I feel like maybe a piece of advice that I would have given you.
This is so sad, but it's kind of exciting.
Well, so by the time y'all are watching this,
We will be alumni of
Of
Howard University.
the illustrious Howard University.
yeah. So Simone and I have known each other since our sophomore year.
Which was our first year here,
Yeah.
first year in person because we were virtual.
Yeah, because
freshman year.
our first year, I spent my first year in my bed. Like, I don't have any memories of like my
None.
actual freshman year. So I honestly consider my sophomore year to
My
be
freshman year.
my freshman year.
Because we met in Orco.
Yeah, we met in our Undergrad class because our professor was like, y'all are all gonna fail this first test.
If y'all haven't already found a study group
and
y'all
already
haven't
been studying for at least 2 weeks, it was like,
then
and there's a
y'all are
week.
going to fail. Also, you guys, I don't care if you have a class after this. If you guys aren't staying for office hours right now, you're also gonna fail.
Yeah, and so that scared me into instantly going, okay, I need to find a study group.
So I'm standing there with my friend Joy, and she was like, and Jaden was like, do you guys have a study group? Do you guys want to study together? And we were like, sure. And then we exchanged numbers and
Yeah. And like studying for those tests, especially leading up to the test, it would be like every day for a week. Like in the undergraduate library.
at least a week.
Yeah. Getting the study room super early before the test.
We would stay there the whole day.
The entire day
Good
studying.
Good times.
And then when it came time to study for the MCAT, we
naturally
studied together.
Yeah.
And so we've been a part of each other's journeys since like the beginning, I guess, for real. At least beginning of like undergrad, which is pretty crazy. And then now we're on the same journey with Healers with You together.
Yeah. So how are we feeling about graduation and graduating?
So it is our senior year. We have
a week.
Yeah.
At the time of this being filmed, we have
a week before grades being due.
So until we hit that alumni status.
Which is
crazy. It's
really
surreal.
crazy.
It's like, has it really been 4 years of undergrad?
No, it hasn't. It honestly
No
hasn't been
way.
4 years. It's been a year online, but that year literally could have been a month.
Yeah.
And so now we're almost done, and you will be starting medical school.
Yeah.
This upcoming fall.
Yeah.
How exciting! How do you feel?
Totally surreal because it feels like it's something that I've been working. Like, yes, 4 years of undergrad, but then before that, I was like, I want to be a doctor. What do I need to do to get there and all of that? So it's like actually going to be an M1 and actually like you're getting the white coat and swearing the oath, getting the stethoscope, all of the things like real. It's right there, It's crazy. It's crazy to think about how did we get here, And it's like
all your hard work is actually paid off at this point.
Yeah, looking back, I'm like, it wasn't perfect. I didn't have all A's. I didn't have like the highest scores and all of that, but like somehow I made it here, and like grateful. So, okay, you're wrapping up too. Like, how do you feel about the next step?
It's a lot because like right now, I'm planning on taking like a gap. So, but I'm also like applying right now at the same time, and then I just recently decided that I'm going to take my MCAT again. And so, it's a lot to juggle, but it's exciting to think of like, okay, what I'm doing right now will directly get me into medical school. So that's
very exciting. Like I feel like honestly, I would be more motivated to take my MCAT. You know what I mean? Knowing that right around the corner. This score is going to med school like next month. I think like part of the hard thing about school and it just seems so disconnected sometimes. It's like, do I really need to take this class to go to med school? But like, you need to take this MCAT so that you can apply like next month. It's like really connected.
Yeah. So and I like just decided that I was gonna take it too. So that's like really fresh on my mind. Just thinking about that, I'm just putting my application together mentally, like in my head, like a vision of like if you could see, I guess, like, because your application is just like you showing who you are as a person to the med schools. And I feel like I'm slowly putting together that person I'm trying to show to them. And I feel like that's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting.
So like, why do we think that it flew by so quickly?
I feel like, well, obviously the first year being completely online, and then I feel like we tried to fit in 4 years into three.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Because I didn't do anything like really my freshman year, like no campus involvement, like just went to class, and most of those classes were in my bed. Fell asleep halfway through them. Maybe not put that in the video, but
or maybe do.
But then because we only had 3 years, just trying to do so much in those 3 years, maybe it was like, this is a lot. Like, let's go and buy like
that's real.
quickly,
I feel like I wish I would have slowed down a little bit. Like taking a break and smell the roses, if you will. Because it's like we were trying to pack in so much. Not even just grade wise and like experience wise, but like we wanted to do everything.
Social life.
I was just trying to do so much all the time, so busy. And it's like, I don't know if I took enough time to do things like this and reflect on even the week. Sometimes there were some hard, long weeks in there. And I'm like, how did I get through it? Yeah. And so I definitely wish I could have like slowed down and enjoyed the process maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now like we're here and we're like, where did the time go?
Flew by too quick.
So I guess if there is advice to be given, use the time that you have and like enjoy it as you're doing it. Don't get so caught up in like, okay, I need to check all these boxes and I need to do all these things.
Yeah, it's not a box to check. It's not like, okay, yes, I need this, and this. It's like, yes, you're gonna have things you want to do, but make sure you're enjoying every step of the way, because it's a lot. It can be a lot, and if you're not enjoying it, you won't be motivated. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are the hardest things, when it was like, if you're just doing something to check off a box, it's like you don't want to get out of bed and do it. You don't want to do it. But if you're doing it because you're passionate about it, because you enjoy it, like you want to do it. And so it's not about, putting it on your application or anything. It's just about, let me do something that I love and find out what I love too. I think that's another thing. Like in college, I don't know if I gave myself enough space to find the things that I enjoy. I think I came in knowing like, oh, I want to be a doctor. These are the things that I need to do to be a doctor. But I don't know if I gave myself enough space to say like, what if I like to sew? Well, I mean, sometimes I did that, but like, what if I like to sew? Or like, what if I like to like, garden? Or, all of those random things. I don't know. But I guess you have a whole life ahead of you. It's not like this is the end of the undergrad and then we have to just like hide and
But like, yes, I mean, time flies when you're having fun. Like, I feel like, yes, there was like so much working hard, but like, I feel like, yes, I was genuinely enjoying the ride through. You know what I mean? I know they like to say like, oh, you have 3 S's in undergrad, and it's sleep, studies, and social life. And it's like, you pick 2. And it's like, I pick 3 every single time. Like,
yeah.
But it's really up to you how you like manage everything. But it's possible.
What would you say is your favorite part about like undergrad, being at Howard?
The experience of it all, honestly. Howard is a beautiful place with a bunch of beautiful people. Like, there's just people from like everywhere. You know what I mean? You get to interact with like so many people who are part of like the African diaspora. Like, has been honestly some of like the highlight for out there. Like, oh, we're all actually a lot more similar than you think.
Yeah, that's one thing about coming to an HBCU. It's like, yeah, most of us are Black, but there are so many types of Black people. Like, there's so much diversity in being Black. So many different experiences, and we all came from different places, either of the world or the country, and it's like being able to hear from them and see what their life was like, and like coming together on certain things, and seeing how even though we come from all over the world, we're really similar on a lot of things. It's beautiful. I think my favorite part about being at Howard is the people. I mean, obviously, like the people in this room, nice and kind and all of that, but like also just like I kind of mentioned, just getting to know different people and people that don't always think like you and don't always look like you and don't always, have the same background as you, and seeing the beauty of that, like you were saying, how it's a beautiful place. And so it's like there's so much beauty in all of our differences too.
Yeah, I feel like especially one thing about Howard is that like most of the people here, if not everyone here, is like so driven too, and to see like, wow, these are other like Black people doing like excellent, amazing things. And I feel like that can like also kind of inspire you. I can be great just because like literally everyone around me is also being great.
Absolutely. Like even just our example of us being in the same class, and I feel like this was one of the first study groups that worked for me, because it wasn't like, oh, let's go and goof around. Like it was like, we want to pass this class, let's pass this class. You know what I mean? And it's like you being driven and Joyce being driven pushed me to be, want to pass it. Like obviously I want to pass, but you know what I mean? Like y'all's energy, I guess, around studying and like academic success also pushed me in that way too. What do you think was the hardest thing that you had to do, either in undergrad or being in Howard? Like,
I would say the hard, because like we've done a lot, right? We've done so many different things, but I would say honestly the hardest thing is doing it all at the same time. It was like I picked 3 every single time.
Yeah, that's good.
We're both in like leadership positions and like have organizations and stuff, and then you have like your classes and stuff like that, and then like we both worked in the lab like numerous hours a week.
Right.
We had like volunteering, like, but managing all of that at the same time, especially when I think about like when was like my least fun time at Howard, is when I had the most to do. You know what I mean?
I totally agree. I always say like I enjoy every single thing that I do individually, but something about them all being together. And it's like it can get really overwhelming
really quickly too.
Really quickly to be like, oh, I love this. I love this. I love this. This class is great. But all in the same day is a lot.
Looking at my like most packed was like my spring of my junior year, like a year ago from like this time.
MCAT.
Studying for the MCAT, doing research, regular classes, all of that at the same time. I was on campus like 12 to 13 hours a day, 4 days out of the week. And I was on campus 6 days out of the week for some odd reason. Like, and on Saturdays.
MCAT on Saturday. Yeah.
Saturdays was
I know the reason. Like
8 a.m. MCAT studying from 8 a.m. to 1:20 with like no breaks.
I think the hardest thing for me, and I don't know if I necessarily expected this, was just being so far from home. Like for context, we're both from Texas, and so we're currently in DC, and like never having the opportunity to like hop on a flight. Like, well, we could, but it's an expensive flight. It's not a cheap flight, and so it's like never having the opportunity to like hop on a flight and go home, or get on a train. Like all the people from New York, they're like, oh, I'm home for the weekend, or like Philly, and they're like, oh, just take a 2-hour drive. That was just never my experience. And I think that not having my support system originally here made it really hard. Like there's so many times, especially near the end of the semester, where I'm like, I just want a mom hug.
That's so real.
I just want, like, I know I'm fine. Like I'm gonna get through it. I'm not actually sad, but like I could really use a hug from my mom. And so I think definitely in the beginning, I was like very pro going far. I was like, I'm gonna get my freedom, and I'm gonna, do whatever I want. I don't need to go home. I love DC. Blah, blah, blah. Like that was, I was someone. I'm never going back. I'm never going back. I would tell Nora that, like Nora, for context, is my bestie. But anyways, I would tell her that all the time. I would be like, I don't need to go back. I love DC. I can just walk around. I can go anywhere, and I love the freedom and all of that. But like I love DC. I to the point of every time I would hear a siren go by my window, I would go, sounds of the city. I know, it's annoying.
I'm the country girl moving to the city.
Literally. Okay, I'm not that country, but like something about them sirens, I was like, yes, I'm here. Anyways, all that to say, like I definitely, as time goes on, the distance started to wear on me a little bit, just because it's like, I don't have the opportunity to just go home for a weekend, like a random weekend, just to give my mom a hug, like.
I've definitely felt that, because like I've maybe been home for a total of like 6 weeks in the past year and a half. Like thinking about that is like kind of insane.
Same. Like I was home for 2 weeks all summer, last summer. And then
about same for me.
Yeah, I was home for a total of 2 weeks, and then I think maybe probably Christmas for 2 weeks, and like it's just it's not the same. It's not the same. But I think that was probably the hardest, just not being able to run back home and like seeing my brothers grow up and like go to prom and like
That's real.
and
That's
you
real.
know
Especially
and,
having like younger sisters. It's like,
yes.
man, like they're gonna grow up and no longer be in the home, and like that's
Yeah,
just something
like
I have
the
to
track
take
meets
too.
that I
Yeah.
didn't get to go to. I didn't go to a single. I mean, obviously, like they understand that I'm not gonna fly all the way home for a 2 hour track meet or whatever. But like, it still is like hard to not have been at any of their track meets and seen the tie at prom. Like, how do you think you've grown over the past 4 years? Like maybe in what area?
How would I say I've grown? I feel like there's been so many experiences that have like added to who I am as a
Mhm.
person. I don't know if I could name one way in particular, but like I'm nowhere near the person I was coming into college.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like all of my experiences have been like a mosaic added to like who I am, like my like persona. You know what I mean? So I can't. No, I don't know if I can say like one thing.
Yeah, I don't think that high school Simone would recognize me right now.
Yeah,
Like just in my confidence.
confidence. Okay, maybe that could be a big thing.
You're like
Is
maybe that'll be my one.
maybe confidence would be the one
Yeah.
because like I've always been like a confident person. Okay, actually no, I've never been a confident
You're like
person.
I'm lying
I'm,
actually.
but like I'm always lying, and I feel like that's the thing. I'm always lying to myself and saying I'm a confident person, and so I become that confident person.
Mm.
And I feel like, especially throughout college, the amount I've had to lie to myself and say that I am the super confident, outgoing person is more that I've become that super outgoing and confident person.
That's
You
a
know
good
what I mean?
point. Yeah, that's a good point because I think that, especially being at Howard, and as we talked about earlier, everybody's doing such amazing things, and you just kind of have to own what you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like maybe I don't have the coolest internship, or maybe I don't have a job that's on like there are people at Howard doing just fantastic things, and like
For sure.
it gets really easy to compare yourself to them.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, they have a full-time here. Do I need to figure out like how I can like the Howard hustle?
Yeah.
It can get you
Comparison is the
down.
thief of joy. Like, yes,
Exactly.
everybody doing so well can like motivate you. Like, yes, I want to do better too. But
Hmm.
don't get your head caught up in that and then thinking like, okay, I'm not doing the best. And it's just like
You're doing
your only
your
competition
best.
is you.
Yeah,
Like,
you just have to do your best. And I think that's where like the confidence came from. It's like, okay, no, I don't have a 99 in this class, but my 90, my 89 is the best that I could have possibly done. And like pushing myself from a point of could I do better versus like looking at somebody else and saying like, oh, they did better than me.
yeah,
And I think that's where my confidence came from. Is like at the end of the day saying like, you know what? There is nothing else that I could have done. I did my best. This was my best, and I can be proud of that. What are you most proud of accomplishing at Howard?
I feel like I downplay a lot. Like I don't say like, I don't accomplish or I don't celebrate a lot of like I guess the smaller wins
Mm.
for myself. Like ooh, getting an A on the test. I'm just like, it's what I needed to do. So I did it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like even going throughout undergrad, anytime I made like Dean's List, I was never excited. I saw people posting it and I was just like, I never really cared because I was like, it's just Dean's List. I needed to get to maintain my scholarship anyway. So it was never something that I actually decided to celebrate. But maybe just finishing in general, because I never thought about graduating isn't just us finishing these 4 years. Graduating is really celebrating the life from like you until now. Like, you know what I mean? Like from kindergarten all the way to now. It's like when you think about like that, it's like, oh wow. Especially just when I think about how many black men
Mm.
I've made it to this point. Maybe it is something a little bit more to celebrate, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like this is something that not a lot of people do, and it's like that I made it this far is
Yeah, I love that. I love that because it's like I think so often we downplay the hard things that we do because, like you said, we had a goal, we had a finish line, and we had to make it.
yeah,
And I think that even that mindset is worth celebrating because there are a lot of people who are like, I just need the A or over celebrate and then get lost along the way. Like I think about when you think about it the way that you just said about like from kindergarten, there were so many distractions.
yeah,
You know what I mean? There's so many distractions that could have kept us from getting right here. Just look at the past 4 years. So many distractions, so many like sacrifices that we had to have made to like get here.
yeah. It's
To be
really a
successful.
testament to you, like who you are as a person. Like you
Yeah.
did it, you made it here. Like you're strong. You can do something that's hard. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And while like for us, it's like, oh, I didn't have an option. Like this was what I was gonna do. It's
Yeah.
like there were plenty of other potentially easier paths take. There were definitely easier paths to take.
Most definitely easier.
And so it's like we should celebrate that. Like we should be proud of that.
What about you?
I think the thing that I'm most proud of is the legacy isn't quite the word that I want to use, but like the people that I was able to help along the way.
Like the impact you've made
Exactly.
to people. Yeah,
especially in terms of med school and pre-med. Like this channel is definitely a part of my biggest accomplishments, or things that I'm most proud of, because it's like I love helping people get to where they want to be. Like that's I mean, it's part of my why medicine. It's like I want to get you where you want to be. And so even yesterday I'm just talking about med school or something, and a girl comes up to me and it's like, I heard you talking about these schools. Like, I'm about to take my MCAT. Like, what do you have? What are your thoughts and all of this? And I was just so excited to just sit with her for like 30 minutes after class and just talk through, like, okay, what are your next steps? What do you want to do? You want to take a gap year? Like that's it. It brought me so much joy. And I think that me being able to do that along the way, being like a mentor, and like has also, like, I have so much knowledge that I've picked up, and it's not because of me, it's because of like the grace of getting through so many experiences. And it's like it's genuinely useless if I don't get to pass it on. And so I think does that make sense? Like that's what I'm most proud of, is like being able to not only get all that information and survive all of the hard things, but like pass on what I've learned.
Especially with this channel, I feel like the reason why I'm doing this channel is to genuinely like help other people who've been where we were and just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And like every comment that I get, it's like, wow, thank you so much. I'm just like, wow, I'm really helping somebody. Like, it brings me to tears.
You literally call me every time.
time.
You're like, did you see the new comment? Did you see the new comment? I'm like, yes, because it's powerful. It's like, oh my goodness, we're actually helping people.
What are you most excited for when it comes to starting med school in a couple months? I guess one of the biggest things that I'm most looking forward to when it comes to like starting medical school, I guess, to see myself grow into the doctor I want to become. I feel like one of my favorite things of like the internet, and like when it comes to like looking at like med students and like med school, is like seeing like all the information that they're learning. Like look at those videos now and be like, wow, I don't know what they're talking about. Like they start rattling off some like symptoms or whatever, and it's like, oh, like they start trying to diagnose people. Like, I want to get like that. Like
that's exciting.
So excited to like, I'm a doctor. Like, what I mean? Like, sure, like the MD, but like to have
like the knowledge of a doctor,
to say,
not just
I'm a
the
doctor.
MD behind your name. Yeah, exactly. To be able to, I can see that. Like, I think that to go back and see, like, what am I most excited about? Being able to actually apply the knowledge that you're getting, like outside in undergrad, and even before, outside of like a lab setting, what opportunities do we have to like take orgo, take biochem, and then go somewhere and put it into practice? That's what I'm excited about, because it's like I like, yes, I'll be in a classroom for a few hours and like learn about the body system in this new way and all that, but then I will also have clinical experience that I can actively use that knowledge, like actively hear the arrhythmia rather than just like learning what is an arrhythmia, that application. And then, like you said, the knowledge of, and I'll have earned those letters.
Getting to see my first patient, I'm gonna be so nervous.
They're gonna know. Cry.
They're gonna know. They're gonna be like, "Why are you shaking?" It's like because I've dreamt of this moment
for like a million years. Like all of the years that I've been alive, we're almost over half of our lives have been spent wanting to be doctors. We're 21, 22, and like, how long have we wanted this? At least 10 years.
Yeah.
12? Yeah, absolutely. 12? I'm like, wait a minute, 12? Probably 10. Like, we've been working so hard towards this forever. And like, at some point, we'll knock on a door, open the door, and introduce ourselves as the doctor.
Hello.
My name is
doctor that's going to be treating you today.
And
I will break down.
I will probably be in tears, in shambles. Like, whoever else is in the room is going to be like, wow, those are actual tears rolling down her face. And I can see it.
Yeah, I probably won't break down until after. Like,
Maybe
I'll
I'll
close
close
the
the
door
door.
and immediately start falling.
Like, 'cause it's so crazy. Like, I'm the doctor who's gonna be taking care of you today. Excuse me?
I'm so excited. I feel like maybe like just me saying that right now is probably just giving me some more motivation.
I know.
So
I'm
think
like,
about-
what do I need to do now? Like, let me
Because
think about the stuff.
I feel like we always forget, like, exactly, okay, why are we doing this? And I feel like maybe that moment is the moment I need to keep in my head of like, okay, this is why I want to do this. So I could walk in one day and say, hello, my name is Dr. J, and I'm going to be your doctor today. But yeah, like that moment
is the one that you, and I think like even throughout med school, like that'll be that moment. I just want to knock on the door. You know that characteristic knock. Oh, we have to stay far. And Nora, this is the process that we've been going through for 12 years. Premature? I only got 4 more years. What do you mean? What is she talking about? I've been doing this for 16 years.
She's going to med school. Like, she's going to be a doctor. Like,
I'm going to knock on that door. I'm going to say, hello, my name is Dr. Simone. It's only 4 years away. You know, they start by saying, hello, I'm student doctor. That's kind of insulting. I don't really want to say that. That's embarrassing. I'm doctor in training. You know, like the dogs that have service dog in training. We need one of those vests. But we kind of do get one. The short white dog. Yeah, it's like, oh, they didn't give them the extra inches. They don't know what they're talking about. Cool. I think this is a good last question. Looking back on that freshman year, or really sophomore year, freshman or sophomore year, because you know we were.
I'll say sophomore year.
Yeah, looking back at sophomore year when we got here.
College,
yeah, like we were packing up our bags. We're about to move here. Like knowing what you know now, what would you tell them?
I would tell myself, you're gonna be okay. Like that's the first thing. Like you're gonna be okay. Like it's gonna work out. And I feel like I worry about the future so much, and if everything's gonna work out, it's just like all the time. I always think about like, what would I tell myself? The first thing is, you're gonna be okay. You've been doing so much to get to where you are today. It's like it's just what's next. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I would say like just keep doing your best to be your best. That's all you can do. Don't try to be anybody else's best. Don't try to just do what everybody else is doing or what everyone expects of you. Just do your best to be your best. You know, like and you get to decide. You get to decide what's your best. Hold yourself to a high standard, but give yourself the grace to fail. You will fail.
Progress is not linear.
Progress is not
at
linear.
all. Yeah.
You will fail, and like that's okay. Just get back up. You know, like when you like it sounds so cheesy, but it's true. Like I think that I wasted so much time after I've fallen staying on the ground. It's like get up.
Yeah.
Like
the only true failure is staying on
just
the ground.
don't just stay on the ground.
Yeah, like
you know,
you slip, get back up. Like
you will slip. You're very clumsy. You know you can't walk in a straight line.
You, Simone, cannot walk in a straight line.
Oh no, I'm talking to freshman year Simone. Oh, yeah, she was worse than she is now. You will slip. You will fall. Just get back up. All right, that is our end of undergrad. Wow, reflection video.
Yeah, wow. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.